All right, everybody. Welcome. This is Metatron 7. We have a really good race tonight. It's with Forttify and Root. And looks like they just got started in race time. Should be getting going in just a second. All right. I see the timer's going now. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for a little bit of a delay. We had just getting stuff set up as normal. All right, so this race tonight is getting close to the end of the 2023 Metroid Dread tournament. Um, Fortify and Root have times that are very close together. Two really great runners, and they've been playing this game for a few different categories: 100%, 80%, no major features. This tournament is all bosses, no major glitches, any percent. Um, So what that means essentially is that some routes in this game you can skip the bosses, but some routes you are required to get all of them. You're counting 30 of them. That includes the Emmys, which are the killer robots, which will be introduced to you soon. And then some small bosses and major bosses as well. Okay, so right here, you're going to see them enter into the first zone where the first Emmy is. Now, we skipped the cutscenes at the beginning of this game where it explains more or less the setup. And pretty much this planet sent out a distress signal, and they found it and saw a video of an X, which is a remnant from Metroid Fusion. So Samus comes here to the planet, finds out it's more or less being abandoned, and they lost track of communication with the enemies, the robots. So after this all took place, Samus ends up down into the middle of the planet, and she gets a call from her ship, Adam, the computer, and he starts talking to her through different mainframes that you're gonna see coming up. Um, and over the course of that, he basically instructs her that she needs to get up to the surface, and Long begins this journey of making their way through the planet to make their way back up. So right now you see them. This is kind of the first of the minor glitches that they just did. You can actually shoot through walls and ceilings in this game by spin jumping and shooting it. And that is allowed that shot to go through. And what it did right here is it broke that blob in a order sequence, and that allowed them to go to this pause, which was named earlier than they would have normally been able to. So normally they would have the charge beam right now, which along with the spider magnet, which would allow them to climb on the walls, on those blue glass panels on the walls, for safety during the fight. But they don't have that item because they have not. Well, essentially, they skipped a part of this first level, Artaria, but they will end up getting those items later. And that skip essentially allows them to, over the course of this level, save maybe, I think it's a minute. I've heard 30 seconds, I've heard a minute and a half, but let's just say it's about a minute. But it requires a couple other tricks later to close out the loop and get through this first section like that. All right, so this was the first Atom room, and they just, barrel through the menu, so you don't really get to hear anything that they're saying. Now, there is going to be a trick later that's a very difficult trick that allows the runners to actually skip one of the Atom rooms, and that essentially breaks Adam, and you don't have to stop in any more Adam rooms or talk to Adam for the rest of the game. But that's going to come up in the next level. All right, so right now, Root is making her way down. You're about to see her do a little optimization trick right here. So she's sliding and cloaking, pointing the laser, trying to land on that corner, jump, spin forward, let go of the cloak, and land a little bit further. And it sounds a little tricky because that is a little tricky. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt kind of trick. And if you don't do this, you do what Root just did. You go down into that water, and you have to drain the water platform. Not the water platform. You have to blow up that blob. The water level goes down. Now, Forttify is still there. Unfortunately, he's struggling with this a little bit, and it can be a trick that makes you struggle. So he got it right there. Good job persisting. It's hard to walk away from that one. But you can essentially see during that time, he caught right back up to Root because it saves 15 to 20 seconds. Now, you just saw them do a little jump up this wall, which is another wall they're not supposed to be able to jump off, but somebody figured out that if you do a melee, a shooter, and aim while you're in the air and respin, you can grab that wall and jump off. And that allowed them to the water platform. Again, 7 or 8 seconds of time save. So these are the fun little things that the speedrunning community has discovered over the course of the runs being developed. All right, so now they have become equipped with Charge Beam. Charge Beam obviously allows us to kill enemies quicker and open the charge beam doors. Another cool thing about the game's Charge Beam is that you can actually quick charge by spin jumping, and pressing the shoot button, holding it, and while you're in the air, releasing it. And you don't have to wait for it to charge. Essentially, you can just keep spin jumping and charge shooting over and over and over again without recharging it. And that can be used in boss fights later. But essentially, I think it's used the most with getting up next to the charge missile doors. Not charge missile doors, charge cover doors. Like you'll see this one up here that Root's going to hit. She's just going to do a boom. Big charge right to that door. All right, see right there, you're going to see them spinning while they're falling. It's just another movement technique which allows Samus to fall a little bit further forward with her feet than what she normally would be doing. And that's going to be used and seen throughout the entire game. It's just one of the movement optimizations that are kind of standard with what you have to do running this. Another thing I'll just point out is you see that when they jump on the ledges, they grab them quickly and do a little jump up. Those are called ledge hops. And ledge hops are really important in this game for speedrunning also. Doing a quick one and doing a slow one is a difference saved of a couple minutes over the course of the run. So really important to be able to do them quickly, and there's a certain technique. Okay, Root and Forttify are now jumping over the impossible pillar that they're not supposed to jump over. That was the final trick of this sequence break. And now they've triggered that white Emmy, the robot of this section. So this room is a throwback to Mother Brain. It's essentially a central unit computer, and it powers up the Emmy. And essentially, for each one, you have to go on here and blow it up. It gives you a Omega cannon, which is pretty much a big gun. And you gotta melt the plate off and then do a charge shot and shoot it. So that door gives you a little instruction on the Emmy coming up. So you'll see with this setup, they're gonna go jump in the door and they start shooting to melt off the cover of the Emmy, turn around, do the charge, and then one shot to the face, and that's it. All right, good kill for both of them. Just within a couple seconds of each other. That is the fastest kill, so it's just a little dicey because you can accidentally get bumped by the Emmy when you're jumping over it. And a lot of people get caught, even if they're experienced, and have to, respawn from the central unit room. So they just received the spider magnet. That's going to allow them to now latch on to anything that's blue that looks like little ice panels. But I think we call them magnets. That's what we call them. So yeah, now you see that they can go flying through and grab those, and it allows them to actually climb an entire wall, jumping up the side of it. You can see Root did and Forttify does here a little slide optimization. When you cloak, you typically walk slower through that door, but if you slide cloak, you get through that a little bit faster. Okay, here comes a damage boost to the elevator platform here. Let's see how Root does with it. Very nice. All right. Forttify, hopefully you do okay too. Great, yes. That is great. They are out of Artaria, pretty much neck and neck, which is really great to see because there's a lot of places in Artaria that can, you can get apart by 10 to 20 seconds if you just have a hiccup in one area. And it's interesting that they both got hung up at the waterfall skip, but they ended up recovering at the same time, even though they went at different routes. So yeah, nice and close going into the second level now of Cataris. Cataris is kind of the hot side of the planet, and eventually Varia's suit is going to be needed to go in several of the sections here. So they got a nice little descent here into this first room. All right, and now we talk to Adam. I kind of forget what Adam says here, but I think this is the last time we're talking to Adam because the trick that's going to break Adam is coming up in not too long of a distance. In this section of the planet, you see them stepping on these panels, and these essentially allow the heat to flow to another section in those little channels. And all that's doing is essentially opening up specific doors and panels that you can go through different sections. All right, Root is doing a setup for a cool little damage boost there. That saves about 5 seconds from having to ride that magnet from the bottom. So both runners do that just fine. We want to avoid riding magnets when we don't have to. Okay, so Root is now going for another shortcut. Saves 3 seconds. It's called Hell Run, or Hot Room Run, if you want to call it that. They just gotta plow through there as quick as they can. Hopefully they don't die by the time they get to the other side. Fortify got close. Some runners do it with just not even an E-tank, and they've got an entire one, so... Okay, they're in the green Emmy zone, and the green Emmy gives the morph ball. That's not going to happen for a little while, but you gotta navigate through this zone to get through the next section. And just like Metroid games, historically, you do a lot of backtracking and overlap as you open up certain sections and items open up new ones. All right, Root is going for a difficult pseudo trick where you shoot through that ceiling. Okay, Fortify is skipping it, that's fine. Yeah, that one, you take about 2 or 3 attempts and then you gotta give it up because you just lose time after that. And that little button they just shot to turn on those magnets, essentially what they were trying to do is shoot it from the bottom through that first room. And that would have saved about 10 seconds. But it's hard to do, and you usually only see top runners doing it and getting it consistently, and I've seen both of these runners do it, so All right, they are so close, and we are getting to the trick that we hope they'll get past in 3 attempts or less. All right, this is called Atom Skip. It's a super large pillar in the center of the room that, again, you're not supposed to be able to jump over it. But somebody figured out that if you do a series of wall jumps with a melee timed... Oh, Root got it on the first try. Awesome. I'm sure she is super happy. And Forttify got it on the second or third try. That's great. That is so great because this means that the run will stay close. Because usually this is a big, we call it the great equalizer, but a lot of times it doesn't it doesn't equalize. It makes people get really far off in distance from each other in the race. So sometimes runners can be stuck here for 30 seconds, 10. I've seen them stuck here for 2 minutes, in races. So it can really trip you up because it's a really hard trick. They made it look really easy. But yeah, essentially you gotta do those wall jumps and you gotta melee at just the right time before the third jump, and then get the next one, and you can get over. And essentially, because that is a sequence break, it immediately saves about 1.5 minutes. So you don't have to go through a whole section to get to the other side of that pillar that she just came out of. And then the other time save is over the course of the entire run, maybe about 1 minute, because you don't have to stop and talk to the atom rooms anymore. So overall, about 2.5 minutes of time saved by doing that one trick. And once it was discovered, it pretty much got worked into everybody's runs, and it's kind of expected now that you're able to do Atom Skip to keep up at this level. Yeah, I mean, I've had races and tournaments where I've gotten it first try. Then I've had some, like this past week, where I was there for over 1 minute. And, it's just one of those things where you can have it really good, and then all of a sudden you don't got it. All right, well, both these runners have laid waste to Catarus. They just flew through there. And they're getting on the train right at the same time. All right, and here we go. Now, I'd have to look back, but I'm pretty sure that the PBs they have are just a couple minutes apart, or within a couple minutes of each other. All right, so now we've entered the third section of the planet called Dayron or Dairon. Another little trick to go up that side magnet wall to jump on that slope and catch the top instead of having to climb slowly. All right, so this part of the planet has got a couple places you got to turn the power on. So you have this dark room where you got to make a climb up and around. This is also the location of the yellow Emmy. So each Emmy is a different color and they offer a different power-up. So once you, once you get to the Emmy in each zone, it'll show you a little cutscene of that Emmy with its properties, with its power-up and what it's going to give you once you defeat that Emmy. Then you got to find that central unit room, get the cannon, and then find that Emmy. So right now, Root just picked up the wide beam. That's the first major beam upgrade aside from charge. You're also going to get plasma and wave later on. All right, with that, you're able to shoot those big blocks that have 3 little circles on it. Those wide beam blocks are a hassle sometimes because they don't work. All right, so right there, Root just skipped a cutscene where that yellow Emmy went running to the left fast, fast, fast. That's actually the speed booster Emmy. So when you get around to killing it, it'll give you the speed booster. All right, so now that they got the wide beam, they're booking it out, and they're gonna go back to Caterus, because in the Emmy zone in Caterus, where the green Emmy is, there is one door that they could not open, and that door requires this gun. So they went back, or they went to Dairon to get the wide beam, turn on the power, show us a little hint of the yellow Emmy of what's to come, and now they go back. So again, very close together. You can see that they're at a similar level just in terms of how they're playing each section very cleanly and very similar to each other. Let's switch the audio to Root since she's ahead. All right, so here she is in the central unit room, and Forttify is right behind. All right, so now Root's gonna blast away the green Emmy. Forttify will as well. Sliding through this little passage is the quickest, safest way to kill this Emmy. It's always gonna spawn right there, and you just pretty much just start shooting right at it. Melt out the faceplate, and there it goes. All right, so the morph ball has been acquired. We are all really happy once this item finally showed up in this game because we were expecting it right at the beginning. But here we have it. With the morph ball, you actually, you don't need the spring ball like in Super Metroid. You can jump with this morph ball. They don't have bombs yet, but once they get to the bombs, I'll also say that the bomb jumps are a little bit easier in this game as well than other Metroid games. Probably just from the way that they timed them to work mechanically. But as a SM player, before I played this game, I'll say that I had some trauma from bomb jumps. So when I started playing Dread, there was a few strats and even routes that required infinite bomb jumps. And I refused to learn those routes because I was so traumatized from SM. But eventually I did learn them, and it is a lot easier. So thankfully the bombs and bomb jumps in this game are more consistent than other Metroid games. All right, they have not separated much in time. Root's just a couple seconds ahead. All right, so the teleporters work the same as trains, except they're a teleporter. I'm not sure why they are this way, but I assume because they're not at the edge of the levels of this planet. All right, so you see that they skipped that little energy tank. That's actually a particle, kind of like a little heart from Zelda. You need 4 of those energy parts to make 1. So they don't need to pick this up, and it's not picked up in any routes besides Hundo. All right, now they triggered a magic button and the room starts to explode. So this is a little indicator of what's to come. You need a suit that's able to survive hot rooms like this. Samus figured out that she's not protected and she needs to figure out what to do. And so here you have it. Our first soup upgrade. You hear that? I said soup upgrade. No, it's a suit. It's the Varia suit. No soup for you. All right, so you can take more damage now, and you can go in the hot rooms just fine. So now we need this to go back to Cataris again, which is the main hot section of the planet. Um, there is a boss there waiting, and another item, and then that boss will open up a way to get to another teleporter for the next main section. All right. So they're keeping in pace with each other really good. Um, movement is almost identical between them so far. I'm not seeing any major movement hiccups. It looks pretty clean from both. All right, so now they are able to go through this section that they skipped to initially get the Varia suit. And this section is essentially going to end up at... well, I guess Corpius was the first major boss, so this will be the second major boss. And spoiler alert, if there's anyone watching that does not know, one of our favorite bosses is back from the dead, probably with DNA engineering, or maybe they made the first Kraid and had extra plasma for the second, but here he is, Kraid's back. Kraid's back on another planet in another side of the universe, and he's got two phases to this fight. This one, he's kind of locked up with his hands, and he does one of two attacks. The second one is where he broke free a little bit, broke the platform, so you gotta make your way from the bottom, and you see both of them did the technique to jump up that side. That's pretty difficult. Normally you have to shoot him at the belly and wait for that rail to take you up. So it saves about 10 to 11 seconds if they do that side jump. Wow, Root had a really fast fight. That was super fast. Forttify did as well. Good. None of them got scammed by Kraid. He can waste a lot of time. So they both had really good fights. I expected this to be a close race. I'm actually looking up right now to see what their specific times are on speedrun.com. Let's see. So they play no major glitches. All right. They're on the purple teleporter now. Okay, Forttify, I see here a 152.09 for 100%. Brute has a 154.38. Those were 3 and 5 months ago, respectively, which are excellent times. I mean, that's top notch. If you can get 155 or lower, that's a real strong accomplishment in that category. Let's see. All right, so right now, Root's going there and Forttify. This is a sequence break that the developers intended us to find. You can see he jumps to the left and jumps to the right and is able to grab onto that ledge. And here Forttify jumps across that little chasm and is able to get to the other side. This allows us to get grapple beam early, and that a regular person playing, just a casual runner would walk into that room and walk back out and say, okay, I can't go anywhere. But people that experimented with the jumps figured out that you can get across. So getting the grapple beam early was integrated into speed runs pretty much from the beginning after this game was released. So the joke is when you fall into the lava and you die in that chasm, that's called the tomato soup. So we just say, oh, I fell in the tomato soup, or my run ended. and that's that. So you could fall in it on the way there, and you can actually fall in on the way back. And if you fall in the first hole, you have to reset the checkpoint to go back to the elevator. So it is an inconvenience if you do fall, because you will die. And there's about 15, 20 seconds maybe. So you can see now with grapple, they're able to actually attach to the magnets that are used by the spider magnet, so they can loft into other sections. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I just looked up Forttify and Root's time for any percent no major glitches on the early space route. Forttify has a 1:16:54. Root has a 1:17:10. So that's 16 seconds apart. So yeah, these runners are really close together in terms of skill level. So right here where Forttify is crossing, you have to do this jump. Yeah, if you miss that, you either wait to die in the lava or you checkpoint immediately. All right, Root is entering the yellow Emmy zone again, and this Emmy can spawn several places. Thankfully, she didn't get a spawn where he's in the way. Let's see how Fortify's spawn goes. Oh, he's got the bad one, and he got... Okay, good. Okay, really good. The timing was a little off there, and usually that means you're likely going to get caught, but somehow Fortify managed to get past without getting caught. That was pretty slick. All right, so this is the second electricity unit that you have to turn on. But it's got two little eyeballs up there looking at you if you can see it. So now that the power's turned on, Root's going up to unlock this missile cover and get bombs. Bombs are here, except we don't have to fight that Chozo statue. All right, so we got morph, we got bombs. Now we're starting to be Metroid. This is starting to be a Metroid game. Oh, I got a comment too on that melee that's in this game. Really nice for jumping off platforms. It's used in specific spots. The same thing with sliding off of platform edges. You see the runners doing all that. It's all intentional. Even deciding when to melee and when to slide and when not to. That's all figured out, room by room, looking at analysis, side by side, frames, all that. All right, so they're still essentially neck and neck, making their way out of Dairon now to the fourth level of this game called Berenia. Berenia is considered the water level. It's also the location of the gravity suit, which is what is needed to walk quickly through the water. But they won't be getting that for a bit. That's going to come a bit later on. All right. I just saw Forttify slapping his face. I hope you're not falling asleep. All right, Root's making her way through. Gets the grapple block right there. That's a cool little cloak slide that somebody figured out. Usually that there's a guy on the top that'll shoot you with a laser, that little blue thing on top. But if you cloak slide, it does not hit you. So kudos to whoever figured that out. I've been playing Dread mode now the last few days where it's a one hit and you're out. And that particular guy, because it's always guaranteed to hit you, You either have to kill it or do that slide. But that slide's tricky and you can get caught pretty easily. All right, Root is going for another optimization right here. This is called Backdoor Flash. It lets you get to the item faster. She got it on the first try. Very nice. Very nice. This can get tricky. You can get caught up here pretty easily because the timing of these is a little finicky and the placement can vary too. All right, good job, Forttify. You got through. It's never 100% the same in terms of where you're jumping and laying those bombs, unless you're super robotic in your movements. But that's where it can get a little bit tricky and people can get hung up there for some time. But if you get it right away, you avoid going through the section and it saves about 10 seconds again. All right, Root is blowing up these blobs to drain the water. And Forttify is doing them with a glitched method, allowing him to shoot through the floor. You can see that those shots go right through. And that method is allowed in this category of no major glitches. So here's another one where he's turning with the charge. He goes into the menu button, and during the menu, you can adjust the angle of where you're pointing, then release it, or unpause from the menu, and it'll immediately release a shot at a specific angle through that wall to hit that blob. So if you do that quickly, instead of going underneath, you save like 2 seconds. I wish it was more than that, and people lose a lot of time there, but according to RCandy's side-by-side video, if I remember, it was 1.5 to 2 seconds if you do it optimally. So there is a debate among some of us if it's ever worth going for those pseudo shots, but it's one of those things. If you want to do it, just do it. If that's in your repertoire, and stick to what you know. I eventually started doing them after about 1.5 years. All right, so Root has just made away with the next central unit, and Forttify is coming there as well. So here, she's going to kill the yellow Emmy, which is the fastest Emmy, going to give the speed booster. Thankfully, this Emmy spawns in the same spot, always coming through that little hole up there. So all you got to do to kill this Emmy is flash shift right out of the door, jump on the platform, aim into that spot, and just shoot. Now, if you miss it, the thing walks so fast, it'll be to you in like 1 second. Which is kind of freaky, to be honest with you, when you see it speed towards you that fast. It's a little intimidating, to say the least. So, nice job to both runners, blew up that yellow Emmy. And now Root gets to launch with the speed booster. This speed booster is different than other Metroid games. It allows for a lot more mobility. You can ball spark, you can diagonal spark, you can downward spark, you can quick spark, slow spark. You can do all kinds of sparking, and not only the sparks, but the actual speed booster itself. You can morph and unmorph while in the speed booster. You can jump like you see here, she's jumping. And you can charge shine sparks. And if you shine spark into a slope, you can pick up the speed booster again. She'll just automatically start running. So they have slopes throughout this game specifically used for that. So yeah, the developers really made this friendly, and this is by far considered the best speed booster of all the Metroid games. So lots of fun. And especially in the 100% route, that's when you're going to see this showcased a lot. Really difficult speed keeps, and seeing runners nail those is really impressive. Speaking of speed keeps, here's another one. So she's keeping the charge. You get to keep the charge for 5 seconds in this game, which is a little bit of an extra window. Okay, so here is another boss. You see there's a little dead body on the floor there behind the robot. That's one of the Chozos that came and actually decided to help Samus. It deactivated the Emmys, the last remaining Emmys, and he gave a background on the Metroids and the X and the bad Chozo leader called Ravenbeak, who was behind the master plan of creating the Metroids and all of that. That's where you find out that he lured Samus to come to this planet and is controlling the Emmys. So after that, nice Chozo tells you all that great information. This robot shows up and kills him, and now Samus is fighting back. Oh, okay. All right, Forttify, you got it. Good. Yeah, he lost some energy there, and just a little bit of time. You know what? We get scammed in that room a lot. The name of that Chozo is Quiet Robe, and we call the robot Quiet Robo, and when you get scammed, it's called Quiet Robbed. All right. So when you get Quiet Robbed, you essentially miss the soar on the Shine Spark in that, because you just press down a little bit too early, and that's happened. I mean, sometimes 2, 3 times, 4 times in a row, and you're just like, what on earth is happening right now? Why isn't this working? And part of it has to do with the length of the room, because the room pans out the further you get away from the boss. As Samus is running away, you kind of don't see where the end of the room is, and it makes you think that it's there sooner. So a lot of times you press down before you actually get to the part that you can store it. All right, so Root made her way back. Another thing about Quiet Robe. Before that mean little robot killed him, he said, "Samus, I will open up the secret passage for you. Go that way." So he opened up the secret passage, and now Root is going that way, back to Berenia, and Forttify's close behind. All right, so now Root is back. Has already come this route, but now you see she's going to go at the top. Okay, a nice little speed keep in this section, and the speed booster is used quite a bit coming up. Okay, very nice. Ooh, she even got the double flash past that one. I think that's frame perfect. All right, here's a nice little speed booster as well into Spark. So charge it, shoot up there, flash it over. Oh, yep, that happens sometimes. Very nice. All right, this boss is relatively quick and easy. There is a kill to do it in 1 cycle, or it could take 2 or 3 cycles at the most. All right, nice job, Forttify, with the speed keep. It's gonna do the next one. All right, so what you're gonna see Root doing is shooting missiles and slamming into it, and then shooting more and slamming into it. So each time you slam into it, you reset the timer before that counterattack. Okay, good job, Root. Did it in 1 cycle. So what you do is you slam into it a few times and keep shooting those missiles, and it essentially allows you to lengthen the time of the fight and get more missiles in to kill it in the first phase. If you don't, it'll close back up, the water level will go back up, and you'll have to redo the cycle again onto the other side. All right, Fortify's at it right now. So, do the missiles, the bonk. Oh, stinkers. Yep, Forttify got scammed. All right, so he'll be waiting to go to the other side, which actually just takes a little bit of time. Truthfully, it's about 20 seconds, I think, is what you'll lose. which is not insurmountable in terms of elite and because that's just one death, one hang up on a trick or a boss coming up. You can lose 20-30 seconds on some boss fights. So yeah, it's, even though Root's a bit ahead right now, Forttify is very much close in terms of what can happen in the rest of this race. But yeah, there's a couple spots in this game where you can lose a solid 20-30 seconds, and that not getting it on the first kill for that fight will do it. But let's go. Here we go. All right, Root's plowing through this area, and there it is, super missile. We call them the super pickle or cucumbers. My kids like to call it the super pickle. Oh, I didn't even catch this fight with Root. Forttify is just plowing through it right now. This is a gold robot. And you can shine spark it at the beginning like he did. It's way about its health. All right, now Root is making her way out of this level, going to the next one. And you can see on Fortify's screen, these rooms are pretty small. So there's a lot of like tight movements through this section coming up in Gavorn, back and forth, as he goes down to get the super missiles. All right, so Root is on her way to Elune, which is a very small level, and this is actually all the X are being contained. So yes, there are X on this planet. In Ravenbeak, this is another thing that was disclosed by Quiet Robe. Ravenbeak contained the X in Elune. There's a big outbreak that destroyed most of the Chozo on this planet, which was their home planet initially. But he managed to contain them here. But again, he's luring Samus here for a reason. So now that she's in this section, you see that the X are there, and the X are being released throughout the rest of the planet, right as we speak. So after you leave from Elune and you go back, the X have started to infect everything. And now when you kill an enemy, instead of getting power-ups, you get the X parasite that's flying around, which Samus can absorb and get missiles and health that way. All right, so she just picked up the plasma beam, and that is essentially going to allow her to shoot certain missile cover, no, not missile covers, but certain door covers, and you can also shoot through more than one enemy. If they're lined up, you can shoot through 2 in a row. Okay, so we saw Root do a really cool speed keep after Plasma Beam. Forttify is making his way through right now. And Root is fighting the first of the infected Chozo warriors that you come across in this game. Now, they start off the fight the same, a little bit through it. When you do some damage, there's a little animation where they kind of morph. And then you just finish it off mostly through spamming the beam, either through mashing or through using a turbo controller. Which, let me see, Root says no turbo. Okay, it looks like neither of them use a turbo controller, just based on what they put on the board. So unless they have since then, I think they're just mashers. See, I mashed for the first 7 months that I played this game, and yeah, I just got to a point where I said, you know what, I just can't do it anymore. So I switched to turbo, and it was a really good decision for me. All right, so Forttify has destroyed this Chozo, and now Root is back, and she's got the right beam to open up certain door covers. There's a really cool speed keep she's doing right now. All right, so Quiet Robe turned off the Emmys, but now they're turned back on. So this blue Emmy is the ice Emmy and will give you ice missiles. So when it sees you with its flashlight, you'll actually freeze and freeze in place, and it can come and get you and kill you. So if you do get caught in a freeze, you kind of just spam a button and she'll break free of it. Sometimes it's waiting right there in front of the door that Root just went through. And she's going to kill this central unit, get the gun, kill the Emmy, and get the ice missiles. And Forttify is right at it too. So he's going to make his way doing the same speed keep through that section and get to where Root's at. So let's see him do the speed keep. Carrying it nice. So you see the Emmy is on the ceiling where Root is shooting it. You can actually, oh, Forttify, you got bonked. Nice, 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 nice. He parried it. So yeah, the Emmy will sometimes be up there with that speed keep, and you kind of have to do a quick jump in a morph ball over it. It's super tight to get that jump. So he got bonked, but you have 2 chances to not die from the Emmy. If Emmy catches you, it'll kill you by a nice stab in the face. So it'll give you 2 options to parry the attack. First one is what Forttify got. You press the X button when you see a little flash, and it'll parry the attack, and you can stun it and walk away. Okay, so Root plowed through there. She's about to do a trick called Ledge Warp. No, she didn't. Okay, so she skipped. Oh, never mind. Oh, wow. Okay, I got confused because she did a different setup where you actually have to go through the door. Okay, so what she just did by flashing backwards and then sliding and turning into a morph ball was store her position on that platform so that when you unmorph again and jump in the air, you will teleport right back to that spot outside the door. So she stayed morphed and used the bomb to get that item open. And right now she'll jump and unmorph and will just disappear and go right back. See, very nicely done. So the way she set that up by flash shifting through the door, that's actually a people say that it's pretty consistent. It might be more difficult for some people, but yeah. Okay, so this is another Chozo that got spawned, and the fight is the same as the other one. Same attacks and same method of killing it. So the other method of using it, let's see if Forttify does the other method. Oh, nice. You got it on the first try. So the other method is to just jump forward, and as you land in the corner, you have to hit the morph button. And if you time it to the exact frame, it'll store it that way. Now, if he didn't store it, he would have to go back through that whole section, roll down that long tube, and that's about 15 seconds. So getting the ledge warp, store on the first try, and getting back there efficiently will save about 15 seconds. So it's a pretty good time save, and even though it's a frame perfect trick, once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. All right, so Forttify does the counter at the end of that fight. Very nice. And he's going to make his way back up to the green teleporter, which Root just exited. And here is on the way to the gravity suit. This is actually called the Early Gravital Shine Spark puzzle. It's a puzzle because it's got several pieces to it. So you can see, okay, that was the last piece. So yeah, you got to start off with the speed booster and do a couple shine sparks and carries. And if you get that done, you are a happy camper. Because if you fail the gravity puzzle, you end up having to go all the way back up top and start over to charge the speed booster initially. So you can lose about 20 seconds if you mess it up. And sometimes people mess it up 2 times. Maybe even 3. Has anyone ever messed it up 4 times? Alright, so Root just got the gravity suit. Thankfully we got the gravity suit because this is the water level. The gravity suit also allows you to go in cold rooms. So there's not just hot rooms in this game, there's cold rooms that you take damage without the gravity suit. So she's actually going to go now to what's called Frozen Artaria. It's the first level of the game. You're going back to, and now it's going to be completely iced over. A lot of the doors are sealed shut. And this is because there was a boss, a big yucky monster that was engineered here by Ravenbeak's team. Decided to break some equipment in the hot planet, and heater's busted. So you gotta make your way across Frozen Artaria to go find that boss and go get the heater turned back on. Now, one of the things about Frozen Artaria is that enemies hit really hard, so it's easy to die here. All right, here's another Chozo. She's able to keep the Shine Spark. And here you got Forttify, gets this gravity suit, and is making his way over to the elevator now. So not far behind. Actually, let me just time this with this Chozo kill. Okay, 56-10 is Chozo. All right, lots of speed keeps coming up for Root. Let's take a look and see how she does getting through Frozen. That's kind of the thing with this section, is that you don't have to do the speed keeps, but it is a little bit easier, especially because it lets you kill some of the enemies that are in your way. And you can also do them by flash shifting throughout the different sections. So now is a climb she's gonna do. See how she stores it. Looks good. Nice. All right, now Forttify. You'll get to see him attempt this too. You hold the charge, shoot the blob while you're holding the spark, and if you do it quickly enough, you can get through there in one go. Very nice. If you don't break the blob on the first go, then you have to come back and do it. All right, so he's battling, killed it. Very nice, killed the red Chozo. And Root has found her way out of Frozen Artaria, made it to the elevator, and now is going back to Cataris, the hot section, to fix the heater. All right, Forttify is now ready to get his game on with the speed boosters. Let's go. In this section, I actually just Shine Spark across it and then Flash Shift. So you can do it both ways. For some reason, I just am not that good at the speed keeps when you have to morph. I just get stressed out. I don't know why. So I opt for things that are a little bit easier, maybe if they're a second slower. All right. This room is kind of tricky. Fortify's in because that thing right there. Okay, nice. Just morphed right into it. All right. Keep this up. He's going to Shine Spark up right here. Whack the enemy. Very nice. Yeah, all these movements are so fluid and calculated. Nice. He did a quick spark there, which is difficult to do. I don't do quick sparks, which is essentially when you charge it and spark immediately without a wind up. All right, so jump back to Root. She is fighting Z57, also known as Experiment, Z57. He broke that heater that's behind him, and with this boss, you actually can Shine Spark it to kill it early. First, you got to do enough damage in the first round. Then when this happens, you have to try and shoot off all the hands. And if you do that, it'll go into this wind attack, I guess you could call it. So after a few of these pass, she'll start charging the speed booster, store it, and then kill Experiment with the Shine Spark. He's going to stick his face out. Kabam. Done. That boss actually was like the worst boss ever for me until I realized that you can kill it with the Shine Spark. Alright, so Forttify made good movement after the elevator. And is going to take his stab now at Experiment. Alright, so Root did a really good job with the fight. Lost a little bit of time here on the exit. There is a speed keep that you can do that clears that area in just a couple seconds. So if you don't store it at the bottom, you can either go back and store it again, or you just keep going up like she just did. I don't know what's faster. Probably if you just keep going up. Alright, so Fortify, he's just got to shoot the hands off now. I'm pretty sure that this is, that's the part in the fight that Experiment can recharge its health a little bit, especially if that thing hits you. I should probably ask about that because I heard it before and I'm still not 100% sure. Alright. Nice. Fortify. Death with a Shine Spark to the face. Alright, let's see. He's going to try that speed keep now. Let's see if he can get it. Right, charge it and then shoot it here. Okay. Okay, so also missed it, which is fine. It just takes a couple extra seconds, and then you can pick it up right, where he did. Okay, so Root came through that, I think it was an elevator, or was it? It was a teleporter, and picked up the screw attack. So the screw attack is pretty much instant death to any enemy that you'll run into at this point, or at least does significant damage to it. And you can use that in a couple of boss fights coming up. It'll also kill a central unit with one hit, which happens later. Alright, so Root is now back in Berenia, where she just came back from the gravity suit. Now can make her way up this way. There's going to be 2 Chozo robots that you have to fight at the same time right now. There's no power up from them, but you just got to get through them to get to the next teleporter. Now with these robots, you see how she's sliding into them. If you keep them on the left half of the platform and keep sliding into that attack, and they essentially won't jump off the platform, and you could just sit here and spam them with the plasma beam because one shot will go through one to the next. You can also kill them with the screw attack, but mashing the plasma is the fastest way. Oh, you know what? I never timed. Oh, here we go. Delusional, thanks. There's my ADD, so I was like, oh, 5610 at the Chozo. Thank you, Delusional Prince. I was like, let me time this. Oh, 10 minutes later. Okay. I'll do another one. 103 green tea entrance. Alright, so Fortify gets the Missile 10 pack, which is helpful later on. So he's got to do his robot fight and bomb jump up this way. That bomb jump's actually why I didn't want to do that. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. Okay, so Root is at another boss, and the first 2 phases of the boss fight are over. You didn't even see it get to spawn completely because of the speed booster technique. Alright, she just killed this fight. Totally killed it. We call this a 4-spark. Yeah, did you even, anybody even see that fight? I didn't even see it. It just blinked and it was done. That was really nice. Alright, so yeah, you basically kill the first enemy, it turns into a bigger one. And then it turns into a third one, which is even bigger. Alright, so that guy gives the cross bombs. And the cross bomb is what allowed Root to propel across those passages. It's basically like a bomb that shoots multiple bombs in a square. Not a square, I mean a cross. Up, down, left, right. And it can propel you pretty far and is useful for certain bomb sections. But it doesn't always work the way it's supposed to, and a lot of people don't like the cross bombs. They have a bad reputation. All right, so Forttify is fighting Golzuna. So that was the first phase. This is the second. Good. Now is going to be the third. You need 2 Shine Sparks on the third. So he's got 1. All right. So here you wait. Charge it up. Bam. And then you Shine Spark the Core X. Very nice. Fortify. Slammed Golzuna. Destruction to Golzuna. Okay, right there, Root actually opened that grapple block from the opposite side. That's another glitch that you're able to do in this category. Similar to the mechanism that you actually shoot through the walls. You essentially just slide into the wall, do a quick spin around, and then shoot right as you face the wall again. And if you have a beam, the shot will go through. If you have the grapple, it will latch to the other side of the grapple block and open it backwards. All right, so Root is now in Perennia again from another way, making her way through cold rooms. All right, nice movement. Here you have pretty much the main power-ups in this game, so you can really utilize a lot of good stuff to get through these missions. All right, so going through the purple Emmy zone, Emmy gives you the wave beam, so it will shoot through the walls at you, shoot a big purple bubble if it sees you with its flashlight. And there's a little flashlight looking for you. Okay, Fortify comes through, his reverse grapple. All right, so no encounter with the purple Emmy here, pretty quickly. And now she's gonna go fight another boss called SQ. Now, if you fight this boss in the intended sequence of, actually pretty difficult. It's a pretty difficult boss. It just does weird stuff. But here you're gonna see another Shine Spark and then a quick flash shift over with the screw attack, which you're not supposed to have yet. And the boss is done. Done in just a few seconds. I actually don't play Boss Rush specifically because you cannot kill that boss so quickly. Oh, yep. I forgot my timer again. Yes, you're right, Drew Zestra. All right. Maybe someone in the chat can do the timer because I am very bad currently. Too many things going on for my old mind. Oh, look it, they are in the same room again, but going through. That's funny. So he went through the right and. Okay. So this is the second double robot fight. And the one on the left, the gold one, had, so that's the one you Shine Spark when you get into the, and then kill off the second one. Okay, so Fortify does away with SQ, very nice. Exactly the same, very quick fight. And now has the Storm Missiles. And yeah, the Storm Missiles, they lock onto multiple enemies and they're used to open the Storm Missile block like Root's doing right here. There's just a couple of those in the later section. And you use the Storm Missiles in some of the final boss fights. But you're not really using it in rooms to speed run. Maybe when you're doing casual play, you can use it that way, and it's fun to use it in that capacity. Alright, Forttify did a nice speed keep through there. Oh, he got seen, so the Emmy door got closed a little bit. Okay, 109.25. Okay, so they are a minute and 20 apart right now. I took time at the entrance to this robot fight. Alright, Root has destroyed that central unit and is draining the water here. The purple Emmy's coming up, and there's a few ways to kill it. There's the fastest way, which she is going to be attempting right now. It's a really tight spot. You see how much space you have. You can't miss more than 4 shots on the face. So let's see. Oh, it's going nice. So she slid under. Boom. Very nicely done. It's very tight, and you can do a plant kill there where the face plate melts off and you have enough time to do a charge without having to slide under or jump over, but that's really hard to do. So most of the time you have to slide under or jump over to finish off the kill. All right, so Root has the wave beam. Again, so they're about a minute and 22 seconds apart. Okay. So wave beam will allow you to shoot through the walls and open up specific blocks. It also does more damage. All right, so now Forttify is going for the same kill, the super hard one. I still don't do this one. I think it saves about 3 seconds, but it's just a little stressful for me. All right, so good. He's jumping over. All right, face plate comes off. Bam. Nice job, Forttify. You are close to the end of the game. All right, Root making her way now back to, not Berenia, Hanubia, yeah, mental blank. All right, so she went through Hanubia and now has the wave beam, which opens the cover. So she's able to go through that door. There's a little animation that she is skipping right now where the red Emmy comes and she destroys it with her bare hand, and then this Chozo comes out and you have to fight this Chozo. So the way she killed that Emmy actually was with her hand touching it. She has Metroid DNA from previous games, and essentially one of the things with this storyline is that Ravenbeak was trying to get her Metroid DNA to be expressed and come alive within her. So as part of her survival instinct, and now essentially that happened with this final attack from this Emmy. She was about to die, she grabbed it and basically sucked its life with her hand. So she essentially is becoming more powerful, expressing Metroid ability to take energy from others. All right, so Power Bomb is now acquired from that Emmy. Right at the end of the game, if you're doing 100%, you got to go back and do cleanup, and you use the Power Bomb quite a bit, which is cool to watch, but otherwise you just use it at the end here. All right, so Forttify is doing his fight now. All right, and you see that she's laying the power bombs in the room before. That's because the blast will actually carry into the next room, so you don't have to charge it in that room. You essentially can spend the time charging it in the previous room. All right, Root gets the fast speed keep through there. But that one's pretty cool. You got to lay a bomb and charge your spark and then shoot through that bridge that the bomb blows up. All right, so she's made her way to the gold Chozo. This is the final of Ravenbeak's guards. The last Chozo that you're fighting is the strongest one. It really takes a lot of health when it hits you. But again, the same pattern of attack with these melee counters at the end. I did wonder why they did not change up the pattern of attacks for these Chozos throughout the game, but yeah, they're the same, and I guess it makes it easier in some ways. Alright, so Forttify is making his way through this powerbomb section now and is going to get up to gold Chozo for that fight. Alright, Root is now making her way up to the last section, and this is where the final Mr. Ravenbeak. Ravenbeak is the leader of the Chozos, the master of mischief, and now Samus is going to go duke it out with all the power-ups. Alright, so Forttify is making good the gold Chozo, using the storm missiles, which is the fastest technique. Then after the shield breaks off, you switch to mashing, and it's a quick fight. So really clean fight there. And then he'll make his way up to Ravenbeak. Okay, Root's taking the elevator up. There's a cutscene right here that's being skipped, and you just find out that Ravenbeak is your half-father, and Samus was engineered from Ravenbeak's Chozo DNA and something else. And she's got Metroid DNA, so she's got some issues. Let's just say that she's got some issues. All right, phase 1. There's 3 phases in this fight. Phase 1 is over. The second phase, he sprouts wings like eagles and shoots with a machine gun. You can manipulate him in this fight to stay next to the wall just based on how you move. And when he does this machine gun attack, if you melee and crouch, like she just did right there, the machine gun will actually not hit you. Usually if it hits you, it bonks you and you can't shoot, so that makes it a lot easier. Alright, third phase now. That sun, you need a power bomb to blow it up. Forttify is about to start his fight now. Alright, so Root's using a combination of cross bombs and missiles here. Shoot 2 missiles, lay a cross bomb, 2 missiles, lay a cross bomb. Alright, so Forttify is in the first phase. This is how you skip his gold suit, which makes him invincible for a short amount of time. Alright, skipped it, good. You do a combination of a storm missile and the beam in that counter sequence. Alright, Root's done. Very nice job, Root. This was a close race, I'm telling you. It's not easy to get to Ravenbeak at the same time. Yeah, so Forttify has him hugged up against the... So he does 2 machine guns in a row. And he'll just keep shooting him with missiles in this phase and stay next to the wall. Alright, so the X came to Ravenbeak and turned him into a big dinosaur with a bird face. And you get a nice gun. Look at this gun. And not only that, she's got a green power suit. This is a Metroid suit. So the only Metroid in this game is Samus herself. Her Metroid powers are full force, and you'll see her walk through this last escape section. 1, with a big cannon, and 2, the suit makes her invincible and actually kills enemies just by walking into them. But it is fun to shoot him with the beam. Alright, Ravenbeak is done. Forttify has destroyed him very nicely, and you're going to make your way back now through the escape too. Alright, Root is going through. Some clean movement through here. That's about all you can do in escape, is just do as clean a movement as you can. Alright, so Forttify is about to shoot the dinosaur. All right, so Root is sparking up here. She's going to be done in just a second. Wow, with a 119. I don't know if this is a PB for Root. All right. GG Root. Wow, 119.26. What an amazing time. Goodness gracious. I gotta find out if that's a PB. Very, very awesome job. All right, let's get back on Forttify's audio. All right, Forttify is making his way out. Okay. All right, Forttify is gonna go for the speed keep at the end and is gonna finish with an excellent time as well. All right, so you get the last spark. Very good. Awesome. Forttify is done. Congratulations, 1:39. Another really awesome time. Really good times for both of these players. And congratulations to Root for finishing. All right, so congratulations to the runners. Again, Root with the win. Let me work on getting these folks in the call and we can chat a little bit with them. All right, so I'm actually waiting for the invite to get into the call room post race. Okay. All right, I see them here. Just give me 1 second to get this sorted out.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. Hello.
Cool.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, are we all here? Great.
Yes.
All right, GG, both of you. It was really cool
GG.
to see this race. I know you two have a PB in any percent NMG, just about 15 seconds apart or so. And I knew that this was going to be a close race. You both are really talented runners, and your strats are similar, your technique is similar, and your times are. So I was expecting it to be close, and it really was close over the course of it. So, Root, did you get a PB, Root? Like, is this? I see you got a 119.
Yeah, it's a 10-second PB. I had a 119.36 earlier in the week.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean,
That's
considering
awesome.
the Atari that I had, thank you. Like, my Atari was really bad at going to charge beam because I think I lost like 30 seconds or so on the charge beam split alone, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
this is how tonight's gonna be, I guess. But I just
Yeah, Artario was a meme.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I think it was
it's
like
interesting.
a good 15th try water ass somehow, some way. I don't know what happened there.
oh, did you get messed up
Got it.
there too? I
Yeah,
went in the
I got
water.
it.
I gave up.
I got it. I got it literally every single time in practice. So, just more proof that practice doesn't matter.
Oh, well, okay, that's not
In
true.
races, sometimes
That's not
practice
true.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it
It's a
stinks.
joke. It's a joke. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know it. I know.
But it's interesting. You both. So Root ended up going down and draining the water, and Fortify
Yeah.
stayed to finish the trick. And you both ended up right around the same, getting out of there before getting
Wow.
to charge. So
I played like I was showdown. I played like I was losing the race. I was like, okay. Like after
mhm,
The
that.
the race was extremely close until Quiet Robe. Quiet Robe,
Really?
and then yes,
yeah,
you only had like a 10-second lead throughout the entire race, despite the having to go underneath. You only had like a 10-second lead for the majority of the race. Every single time I thought I did something, I'm like, okay, that's got to get time back, right? No, because you did it faster. You played out of your mind. So GG.
Thank
Like
you.
I got a
GG.
second try. I got a second
Oh,
try. Adam skip. You must have gotten first.
yeah.
I got a second try BDF. I should think. I mean, you probably got first.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got like every single trick that I was like, awesome, this is good. I probably got some time back. I didn't. So you came to play, and I just kind of got shafted by some RNG. So it'd be like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Honestly, though, for all of that, 123rd mid 120 is still really good. Like,
Nah,
is that not
this is
is that not a
this was
PB for
not a good
you?
run. Nope.
I mean, considering, the circumstances, I would say like you kept
It is
pace at least
it is
decently
not a
well.
PB. And I was telling you when we were in the lobby, the like wait-in lobby, I
Hmm.
almost DNF'd this race like 4 times.
Yeah.
I After the Quiet Robe fight, I was really frustrated because of the RNG that I got. I got
Mm.
pretty much the worst possible RNG, and then I tried to I went for a riskier strat to get this time back, and I shouldn't
Mm.
have. But I got probably the worst possible RNG for the Quiet Robe fight, and then the game, like, I don't know if it was my controller, I don't know if the game was like a 1 in a million Drog cycle spawn, but like it wouldn't let me collide with Drog to delay the parry, so I
Oh.
couldn't one cycle Drog. So after that, like loading up to Gavarin, I literally went into race time and was like, I'm done. I'm gonna DNF. I'm good. I have no interest in continuing this run. But like I told
Mm.
you, again, that's disrespectful to you because you played out of your mind. And I, at that point, technically speaking, can come back from it. But I was pretty checked out after that. So
Understandable. I get you.
Mhm.
this game
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's you played really awesome, Fortify, and like you said, you were both like tied right going out of Artaria. You stayed neck and neck, and then yeah, Quiet Robe robot, you can lose 10, 15 seconds there. And I was commenting when you were going through that just about how we get robbed in that section a lot with not being able to store in time. Um, just because the layout of the room, you don't see the end of it because of how it
It's
Yeah.
zooms out.
it's it's
You know,
possible. It's not a difficult store. It's just a technical one. It's a frame perfect store. So
yeah. So
but
it,
it's
it
not
happens.
difficult at any by any means. But it's just
Mhm.
RNG dependent, and I did not get good RNG. So
Yep.
GG.
Yep.
GG.
Yeah. All right.
Oh well,
Well, Root,
I'm not
you
mad though.
actually
I'm pretty content, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, you both played really well, and you did really good in this tournament at Fortify. You're always doing great in this game and pushing it along. So we're always glad to have you here and Root 2, part of the community. Glad that you both participated in the tournament. And Fortify, thanks for not DNFing. I know it's hard. I wanted to do it too in my last races, and I have done it. In the last tournament, I did it. Um, I just said, like, okay, whatever happens this time, I'm just going to press through because yeah, it's frustrating when you work so hard at this game and then you're in the race and then things don't happen the way you want, lose 20 seconds. It happened with me and Grub Dog. We played twice And both times I messed up D-boost, lost 20 seconds, and then had horrible atom skips that cost a minute. Even though I practiced both so much after that first match, and it just still both of them went wrong. So
Mhm.
these are matches, these are races, and it's been fun to do it. And kudos to both of you, Fortify again, really great job. Um, and Root, awesome to get a PB. I don't know how
Thank
people
you.
get PBs in races. It's really hard to do, but somehow people can take the anxiety of it and turn it into major focus, and that's really cool to see it. So
Thank you.
yeah, up next is going to be Exception.
Yes.
That's who's next in the bracket. So
Mhm.
Root will be going head to head with him. And it could be close also. You know, you had a really good run now. I think his PB is 118 and has been getting, um, I think, 120 in a race. I'm not exactly sure what the last race was, but that'll be a good one also. So, you know, in the next round, we've got Sabo and Linoleum, Jay and Grub Dog. Actually, they just
Chaff and Ed raced tonight. Yeah,
okay. Do we know what was the outcome there?
I can look.
Yeah, okay. Because that's gonna go, and then another round after
Ed
that.
finished. Ed won the race.
Ed won the race.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jay's got to go against Grub Dog. Okay. So yeah, whoever wins between Exception and Root will go against the winner of Delusional Prince and Manny. So Root, that might be in your sights. Um, hope that your practice goes well for Exception.
Thank you.
And then Fortify, you can take a breath and be like, okay, no more races. I don't have to think about it anymore. I know I was a little bit relieved when I was done because it's been
Well,
several.
this tournament was I called an audible and entered this tournament. You know, if I had practiced a little bit and maybe done the ABNMG stuff that the Discord was doing, I probably would have entered with maybe like a higher seed and everything. Like I wasn't gonna participate in this tournament. I don't like this category. So
Mhm.
not that I don't like it, but like out of the three major categories, this is number 3. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm content, you know. Not what I wanted. I should have taken care of business up in the upper bracket, but so I think that's my only gripe
Mhm.
with this tournament on my part and my play is I just should have taken care of business. But you know, it is what it is. Anything can happen in a tournament. Um, and I mean, I'm probably going to keep playing this category just so that I can get the like mid to low 118 that I'm currently. That it literally lives inside of my splits. Like it's there. I just need
Mhm.
to stop playing like a monkey. But then, speaking of monkeys, I'm gonna go back to Donkey Kong. I'm gonna go get my 45.
Nice.
I was about to say, are you doing a pun right now? Because no more monkeys, because you are doing Donkey Kong. That's
Yeah, I'm
funny.
gonna go back to. I'm gonna go back and run that now that I have the time to commit to it. And
Yeah.
PB in that should be fun. Run some 102% afterwards. Just 102% is really fun, but extraordinarily difficult. So it'll be
Yeah.
fun. Now I have the focus to do that.
Cool. Yeah, it's been neat watching your stream of that game too. Um, and speaking of streams, Oats and Goats was streaming Metroid Dread tonight, so that was
Yeah,
really cool to
Oats is doing
see.
a rando.
Yeah, he was doing a rando, and I think this was his first night back to Dread in over a year. So you all were racing on the same night. That put about 2,000 people in the Dread channel, and I've not seen that many people there since I started playing the game. So that's going to be really cool for the community. I think too. We've been talking about that a lot. If one of the top runners from SM would ever come back and play Dread, and he did come back. He said he's going to keep going at it. Um, so maybe some others will come too. So I just say those in the community, you know, keep up your streaming and your playing. This game will keep getting exposure. I think there was a lull last year, but just because it's being featured on Speedgaming, along with other games that are really old. You know, this is a relatively new game to be out compared to all those other games on a regular schedule. So I think there's a lot of great future for this game. A lot of good base was created, So yeah, I enjoy being a part of this group with y'all, and it was a pleasure to commentate on your race. I hope you both had fun. Fortify, I'm glad that you joined the tournament because I remember when you were saying that you were on the fence based on what kind of a qualifier time you'd get. But yeah, it was good to have you here. Route 2, really impressed with both of you. So do you
Yeah,
all have
I'm
anything?
transferring my lower bracket buff to Root so that she can
Thank you.
Yeah,
go all the way.
I'll do my best with it. I promise.
yeah, very
I
cool.
don't know, man. This freaking quiet robe. That's all I gotta say.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
Anyway, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up. Thanks to both of you. Any last thoughts from either of you?
GG Fortify, and thank you for commentating meta. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Yep.
you came to play, Root. I mentioned it when when I won versus Ven last week. I respect the hell out of you as a runner. You're one of the game's best runners. I'm very happy that we got to race on Speedgaming like this. I know that we do a lot of casual races and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's all fun and everything. But yeah, I do respect you a lot as a runner, as a person. And so, if I was going to lose to anyone, I'm glad it was you.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Fortify.
cool.
I respect you a lot too as a runner and as a competitor and a rival and all of that.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. You guys are both
Also,
great.
play speedrun Donkey Kong Country 2 for the Super Nintendo. It's a great game. Okay, bye.
Yeah, and I don't have a thing, but definitely follow both these runners, LOL Fortify and Root. Really great people and are streaming regularly. So yeah, again, thanks to you. Thanks for all you in the chat that watched. Hope it was good for you. And if that's it, I'll close it out here. Go ahead and look at our schedule too to see when the next races are. And that's it. See you next mission. Have a good night. Be safe wherever you are.